YouTube, what up? UTT, the Travel MC. This video right here gonna be about local employee privilege. This video is gonna be about local employee privilege. I have a few things to say about that. I know some local residents out in Kodiak, and I'm gonna give you guys a rundown on what I have. So stay tuned. I'll see you in a second.
Away sometime. Adios. Get away sometime. Ciao, ciao. Get away sometime. Adios. Traveling since I took a trip to Cartagena. Mark calendar of the day, put in my daily planner. Pick cousin up who resided in Savannah. 3.5-hour trip to Parcha and Atlanta. Book United, how I go up in the friendly sky. Once economy, now first class the way I fly. Airplane.
YouTube, what up? UTT, the Travel MC. Like, share, subscribe. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you see what we have right here. We have the seafood processors Alaska, and this is for local processors only, as you can see. Local processors only. This is what this video is about. You see I clicked on Indeed, and as you scroll down, it's basically getting 12-hour shift. Of course, it's going to be night shift. That's where they want to put you at. That's normally where they're going to put you. It's usually the same as how it is when you actually get in the bunkhouse, but it says right here, there's no housing provided for this position. It's giving you all the details, as you can see. So this is the local privilege to a degree, but you don't get the housing. That's the only drawback, but you get everything else but the housing, okay? It says 12 months throughout the year. You're probably not going to work 12 months straight, but they're going to work you. You're not going to even probably know when you're working. But as I said before, you get some leeway. I've seen guys get leeway. I heard they can get certain days off. Their deck is a little better as far as their sick days, and they get. You see the benefits. They get their benefits. I think it's a 90-day probational period, and they get their 401k. They're gonna get their medical, unlike the seasonal workers. I've been told the seasonal workers don't get that until they've been probably working there, I think, like 1,500 hours if you're a seasonal worker. So you might have to do like 2 seasons to start getting some extra perks to even get anywhere near to what the local employees are getting. This is what I've been told. I wasn't there long enough, but check it out. Man, I was going to talk and walk. It's not a good night for that. It's pouring down, raining. So I'm going to go ahead and just give you guys a rundown on this local employee demonstration. A lot of benefits, a lot of perks that come with being a local employee. I'm going to start off with the bunkhouse. Local employees cannot stay at the bunkhouse, so if you're a local employee, you must have a residence and you must stay there. You cannot stay in the bunkhouse. But, as you guys know, the chow hall is in the bunkhouse. Right downstairs on the first floor, as you guys remember. Well, not the first floor, but it's basically the bottom, downstairs, basically. So the chow hall, they can eat all 4 meals just like the bunkhouse occupants can. It's just the only difference is they gotta stay at their home. But your local resident, they work all year long from what I've been told, or maybe they're off for 2 months a year or something like that. And they get insurance, they get their 401k. I believe they can call out, they can get days off if they need them. I think they can get Sundays off. They can call out. A little bit more flexibility with calling out. That's another perk with being a local employee. I don't know if I told you guys this in an older video. Maybe it was a while back. I've been putting stuff out pretty frequent, but I had an associate of mine. Me and him had we talked every now and then. He was a local Alaskan. He was from, I believe the guy was from Anchorage. And he spoke to HR. And he told me how much, he used to always tell me how much he hated night shift. And he was thrown on night shift. So he went to HR and asked him, hey, literally demanded him, hey man, I need day shift. And he was like, okay, you gotta think, this was the middle of May when we had this discussion. So he wanted this man to take off all through June and not come back to work until July. And he was literally gonna let this guy come back in July and work day shift. But again, this was a local resident. Me, came home for a funeral. I only get about 2 weeks leeway. Anything past 2 weeks, they consider me ending my season. So you see the difference from that standpoint. That's definitely a difference. I don't think that guy wanted to take off 6 weeks. So I think he's still working to this day. I don't know if he took off or he could maybe take off the last couple of weeks of June. More power to him if he does. But the guy did say he can get day shift come July. So I also know that when you're a local resident, well, I think I went over 401k to get that, and they work when it's slow. They work when it's slow. They get put on the work list. They get I think I did cover this one time in a video briefly. They get priority selection if it's slow, and if it's gonna be a small group. But what they do, they pick these groups when it's slow. They don't allow the whole. They don't allow the whole. All the employees, even in the bunkhouse, to come to work. When it's slow, it's like hit and miss. They got their list that they make, and you gotta check on a screen or just a website you can check to see if you're working that day, if it's slow, or if they have no fish, or if they're just doing cleanup, or it's just the local employees get preference and priority first over everyone. I mean, but it makes sense. They live there, they got bills. Of course, they got more bills than, I guess, somebody who's in the bunkhouse. Unless you're paying rent back home and you're sending it to your wife or your girl, or you're helping out family back home, you got the same kind of bill, I guess, back home. But if not, if you're just shacking up in the bunkhouse, and that's something that the local employee cannot do. So I guess it makes sense for them to get priority and preference. So that's the local employees. I mean, I believe they get health insurance as well. So I don't know if I went over health insurance. They get health insurance. They get the whole 9 yards, like a typical, I would say, what an Amazon employee would get. I'm thinking, if you work for Amazon, after 90 days you get your probation. So I'm sure they got a 90-day probation if you're a local employee, and that's how that will work out. They'll probably get all the perks, especially after that 90 days. So if you live in Kodiak and you apply and they accept you, then you're basically on your way to being a local employee. So I got something I want to show you guys. I'll keep you guys posted. Just hold tight. I'm gonna look for something online and point something out to you guys, because sometimes they only hire local in Kodiak as well. So I know Silver Bay does it a lot, where hey, they don't hire they won't let people in the lower 48 come out to Kodiak certain times of the year, but they'll constantly run ads for local residents. You know, they probably had their reasons. They probably don't have bed space for lower 48 employees and seasonal workers, and they probably just be looking for local employees to be more long term. So it makes sense.
Ciao, ciao. Get away sometime. Adios. Traveling since I took a trip to Cartagena. Mark calendar of the day, put in my daily planner. Pick cousin up who resided in Savannah. 3.5 hour trip to Parcha and Atlanta. Book United, how I go up in the friendly sky. Once economy, now first class the way I fly.